Fiction, science fiction, horror, fantasy, crime, LGBT, thriller.
You have now entered the House of Mystery.
All right, welcome back into the House of Mystery, and we've got another writer from the great anthology that's just out called Larceny Last Chances. It's 22 stories of mystery and suspense, Superior Shores anthology, and it's book 4, so look for the others too. So joining us, Tracy Falenwolfe, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So listen, your story to this is called The Crimson Salamander. So what's the premise in your story?
Well, the Crimson Salamander is a very expensive piece of jewelry. The main character, Billy Burgess, is a criminal who's trying to go straight, and her circumstances are that she keeps getting pulled back into her old life. She's blackmailed into stealing the Crimson Salamander, and she has to find a way to get out without going to jail.
So you write a lot of short stories. It looks like you've done this before. So do you have a method of writing short stories where you can get so much information into a small place where the reader picks it up right away and they get to know the character and what's going on? And is there some sort of method or some sort of way of doing that?
I wish there was a method. It's different every time. This is the third Superior Shores anthology that I've been in, and it's been different every time. For this one, I think just the theme, Larceny Last Chances, that was something that right away the character came to me, and it was easy. I just took it from there. But with other stories, sometimes it's a setting that I think of. Some short stories that I've sold, I've written for other calls, and they were rejected, and then they fit nicely in something else. But no, there isn't really a method.
Yeah, no trick. I was hoping you'd tell me it, and then I could write some short stories maybe. Do you start with the character then? Is it just a story kind of where you have a person or is it the idea, and then you fit the character into it?
I usually get my ideas from anthology calls or short story calls. I subscribe to newsletters and Substacks and blogs that announce places that are looking for short stories. So I'll go through all of them. And when the theme speaks to me, I guess you could say, then I usually come up with a character first that would fit that theme. And then I try to get them in a lot of trouble.
Well, can you hear your characters? Do you have an inner monologue? Is that how you kind of connect and create the character and create the dialogue, or do you do something else?
No, I can hear them. I mostly see it play out like a movie or a television show. If I can see it, then I know it's going to be good. If I can't see it, it's probably something I need to scrap and start over. But I always see them and hear them like real people. Is
this purely entertainment when you write this story or any of your stories, or is there some sort of a meaning or some sort of thing you want people to take away from it?
I just want people to be entertained. There's a lot of people that look for themselves in my stories. They're not there. It's all made up. It is definitely fiction. I have written some nonfiction stories, but those are few and far between, and I prefer fiction.
Oh, come on. There's got to be some names of people you've written that you've known.
Oh, well, I've changed the names.
To protect the innocent.
We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone.
Well, they'd have to prove it.
Are you just a short story writer, or do you do full novels as well?
Well, I don't have any novels published, but I do write them. Short stories are my sanity in between. It takes a long time to write a novel, and then a long time for it to be out on submission. And then when you start getting rejections, short stories make me feel like a real writer, because they're kind of instant gratification compared to writing novels. But I am working on a suspense novel right now.
Are you primarily into the suspense mystery sort of genres?
And some horror. Suspense, mystery, and some horror.
So you were hurt when you were a child or something?
I was just going to say the horror stories are the ones people think they're in.
Did you picture your characters too? Like when you say you hear them and that you sort of hear their voice, or sometimes you see the stories. Do you picture an actual character, or do you see people maybe a movie star or something, and you kind of...
No, I can picture the character, and it's never a movie star. It's never somebody I actually know. It's just this character becomes real when I'm writing about them. I'd be shocked if I ever saw them out in public.
Wow, wouldn't that be a story?
Yeah.
Yeah, the horror writer, and then all of a sudden she's in the mall and looks up, and the cashier is the person that she was writing about.
Now you just gave me an idea, and I'm going to have to write that.
There you go. That's what we do here.
That is how it happens.
Yeah, we get people inspired.
Yeah, with short stories, it just takes a crumb like that to write a whole story. With a novel, it's a little more intricate, but I often come up with short story ideas from just something like that.
Well, do you feel you're a, I guess, do you feel that you kind of hearken more towards short stories than novels? Are you a natural novelist or a natural short story writer? If you could do one or the other, which would be your preference?
That's like asking me to choose my favorite kid. I have tried to quit writing short stories, and I can't. I say that I'm going to stop writing short stories so I can focus on my novel, and I never do. And I have had people say to me before, maybe you're a short story writer rather than a novelist, and maybe I am, but I keep trying both of them right now. I'm not ready to give up either one.
And the bad person, the one that commits the evil in the or the suspense or creates the thriller part of it. Do you like writing that character? I
do, and I do.
Well, there you go.
I like giving them what they've got coming, and it's not always, they get arrested and go to jail.
Oh, good.
Sometimes the revenge is much more diabolical.
Yeah, because when you do nonfiction, I know I write nonfiction, you don't get to choose, and quite often there's not really any sense of justice to the bad person. So at least with a fiction like this, you can make sure they get some sort of punishment.
That is the fun part.
Yeah, long and drawn out. The short story, but 3/4 of it's the pain and the punishment. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting the feel for what's going on here. Do you like to be put in a lot of anthologies? Do you like to do the magazines and the short books like that, or do you like to do your own separately?
Well, I don't intend to stop being in magazines and anthologies. I do enjoy it, but of course I do want that novel with my name on it and just my name. But if that's not going to happen, I will continue writing short stories. Like I said, I like doing both, and I'd love to do both.
You thinking about when you do these things, do you think about the violence and how you write violence in a story?
Well, I scare my kids sometimes. They do say you are pretty dark. So I have to say no, I don't really think about it. To me, it's fiction. There's a lot of terrible violence that's real, and I'm not writing about that. And it sounds like, you can't separate the two things, but definitely my version of events is fiction.
Where's the inspiration come from?
It could be anything. Right now I have a short story that I'm shopping. It was a Halloween horror story, and that inspiration came from porch pirates that stole a package off of our porch the week of Christmas last year. I couldn't do anything to them in person, but they got what they have coming in my story.
Now, do you have social media? Do you have a website? Do you have places that you like readers to interact with you?
I have a Facebook page and a website. The website is www.tracyfalenwolfe.com.
Well, fantastic. We'll have that up along with the new anthology, and good luck with everything. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
This has been a production of the House of Mystery Radio Show. To find out more about our show, guests, or hosts, go to our website at houseofmysteryradio.com.